After much thought, I decided that this is very important to me.
Okay. Whew. Do you want to learn about training to failure? Well, I'm the best guy to teach you because I've been a failure my whole life. First of all, to understand, should you be training to failure? If you are a beginner, then no, you shouldn't. And that's not me trying to thin out the competition, no pun intended. If you're a beginner, you should train 3 to 4 times a week. Let's see, not. And pushing yourself just a little bit, not too much. And you know if you're training too hard, if you wake up too sore. So what you want to do is just, train with a bit less intensity. In the first 6 months, you want to focus on building the habit. That's the most important thing. And then a wise man once told me that going is the hardest part. I've only found out recently on how to train as a beginner. And I feel really bad because I would bring my friends into the gym and I would be like, like one more. And, my friends would go home and they would be sore as fuck. Like, it would feel really bad. So yeah, sorry to everyone that I did that to you. When should you start training to failure? After 6 months of going to the gym, you should start training to failure. Around that time, you would hope to have, your form correct, and you would actually be not getting sore after going to the gym, even when you're pushing yourself a bit. The reason to avoid working out or going to failure in the gym before 6 months is because you really want to focus on your form. And sometimes when you go to failure, you have to break your form a little bit, which seems counterintuitive, but there's a way to do it. And you don't want to get hurt, that's the most important. Another point is that when you first start working out, just activating your muscles will be enough exercise for them. The whole reason of training to failure is your body starts to get used to the weights, and then you want to get beyond that, so your muscles want to keep growing. Training to mild discomfort in the first 6 months is the same progress or even more, as opposed to training to failure later on. Why should you train to failure? Why do you need white man paperwork?
White man paperwork?
Why should you train to failure? And I want to say it feels fucking sick. It feels sick as fuck to, get to the end, find out what your body is capable of. And, maybe it's a bit soon for this, but it feels like if you give that much to something, you can do anything. If you can give that much where you can't even stand up, or, maybe that's quite extreme like Tom Platz, but if you give it that much. But also, failure is needed to make your muscles keep growing. Once you get to a point where they adapt, you're going to need them to keep getting stimulated, and your body needs a reason to grow. So, you push these heavy weights and you think, okay, like your body thinks, I can't do this anymore. I need to, gain some muscle and keep going for it. But yeah, that's the whole reason of training to failure. And lastly, how can I train to failure? So, training to failure, if you don't know already, is just lifting the weights until you can't lift them up anymore. That's basically what it simplifies down to. And then, step 2 is you pray to God to give you one more rep, to give you one more everything, any kind of whatever you have inside of you to try. So that would be with your normal weight. So let's say you're lifting like 10 kilograms on bicep curls, just keep going until you can't. But if you're a real masochist, like your boy, a masochist, you can do a drop set. So using the same example, 10 kilograms on bicep curls. Once you're fully done, you can't do another one, then you drop it down to like 7 or 5 kilograms. The reason it's called a drop set is because you drop the weight and then do a set. Capiche? Hombre? So I used to lift for a while and trying to achieve failure, or, keep going until my body would give out. But there are 2 things where I've started to use which have led me to realize that I actually wasn't going to failure. The first one is the $10,000 or pounds trick. Once you get to the end, imagine every rep is now worth 10,000, and then you're gonna be surprised in yourself, like, especially if you're a broke ass. Okay, this sounds extreme, but the hostage method. Once you get to the end, now imagine each family member is in a hostage situation, and every rep is gonna free them. So, for me, who has around 7 family members, I only have to go to 5. Them 2 know who they are. Whatever you can use to motivate you should. I mean, yeah, there's some real psycho shit, but if it works, it works. The other ways that you're going to failure is if your cheeks look like they're holding your trousers hostage, like here, and also the sound that you make. Well, obviously you don't have to make sound, but I find that if I'm genuinely pushing myself to get everything that I have, you have to like give a bit of a grunt. If you are a power lifter, you shouldn't be training to failure. You should be training to mild discomfort again, because lifting for strength and lifting for muscle hypertrophy is two different things. Kind of getting into it now, where if you lift for, powerlifting, you do a lot more days in the week, maybe 6 days or 5+ at least, where your body will need its energy, which cannot be spent, and your muscles cannot be sore, basically. It's all about training your central nervous system to get up to that standard. Yeah, I didn't have that written down, so I don't know if that sounds like a whole lot of yap.
Do you do an arm day?
I don't do an arm day. Arm day is curious because there's not really a compelling logical reason to structure an arm day.
Here's one backed scientific reason to do one. Because it feels fucking sick. And shit, after it, I felt like I was gripping the damn British Broadcasting Corporation. That's what my forearms are feeling. That's how tight my forearms were. Bicep curls, they are really the bomb. Like, I could genuinely feel them explode. Like, genuinely. Like, these sets going from like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Like, it's crazy. And would I really be me if I didn't make some absolute ass for my pre-workout meal? I tried to follow this instant oats, and this time I actually followed it to the recipe, and it still came out looking like this. In my head, I thought, oh, I'm gonna pour some water in it, and this is what it's gonna look like. Like, empty bowl, the powder or whatever comes in, and then instant oats, like, as if some movie magic was gonna happen. But hell nah, like, that shit looked like, I don't even know, like shit. But I was determined to not throw it away like last time, and I had to down that shit. I was drinking that to failure, honestly. So the whole week was a failure. Plus, it was leg day. So I needed any kind of carbs I could get this day. I think the worst part about this leg day was that it actually felt good, which ties my hands to these instant oats, unfortunately. So there's that. I gotta look forward to that. Maybe I can make it better. I'm kind of thinking about combining that with my protein shake. So, thoughts? I had another point. Oh, you're right. So my legs don't look that great right now. And I was thinking of not putting it out online, because, you have this kind of sense of wanting to only show the good parts of yourself online, the good parts. And I thought, that's not right. I shouldn't do that. And I think I just want to show like what it looks like right now. So, you can see the progress on it. I shouldn't just be showing the top 1% of myself all the time. I mean, you're seeing this is 99%, let's be real. But yeah, so I wanted to just go out there and say, like, here are my legs. How to put this? I will make improvements. I'm not dissatisfied. Fulfillment is found on the path to success. How about that? I forgot to record hamstrings going to failure, but I can assure you it looked like this. Yeah, peace. I hope you enjoyed.